Francis Blomefield was an English antiquary who projected a county history of Norfolk. During his lifetime, he compiled and published detailed accounts of the city of Norwich, Borough of Thetford and the southern hundreds of the county, but died before the whole work could be completed. Biography. Francis Blomefield was born in the village of Firsfield in South Norfolk, the eldest son of Henry and Alice Blomefield, who were yeoman farmers. He was educated at St. Thetford grammar schools, and in April 1724, he was admitted to Caius College, Cambridge, where he graduated BA in 1727 and MA in 1728. Upon leaving university in 1727, he was ordained a priest, appointed as rector of Hargham in 1729, and shortly afterwards as rector of Firsfield, his father's family living. On the 1st of September 1732, he married Mary Womack, the daughter of a former rector of Firsfield. They had 3 daughters, 2 of whom survived him. As a boy, Blomefield began recording monumental inscriptions from churches he visited in Norfolk, Suffolk and later Cambridgeshire. Whilst at college, he also kept genealogical and heraldic notes relating to local families. Soon after leaving university, he was collecting materials for an account of the antiquities of Cambridgeshire, but in 1732, this project was deferred when he was given access to Peter Leneve's huge collection of materials for the history of Norfolk, by Leneve's executor Honest Tom Martin. In July 1733, Blomefield published his proposals for publishing an essay towards a topographical history of Norfolk in parts. Soon afterwards, while collecting further information for his history, he discovered some of the famous Paston letters. By 1736, he was ready to begin publishing the results of his researches into type, assisted by his friend Charles Parkin, the rector of Oxborough. At the end of 1739, the first volume of Blomefield's History of Norfolk was completed. It was printed at the author's own press at Firsfield, acquired especially for the purpose. The second volume, consisting of a detailed history of Norwich, was begun in 1741 and completed by 1745. In 1751, Blomefield published his Cambridgeshire Notes as a single volume entitled Collectionae Cantabrigiensia. He was 2/3 through his third volume, but had only covered about 40% of the county when he contracted smallpox during a visit to London, and died in Firsfield in January 1752. In 1871, clergyman and naturalist Leonard Jennings inherited the property of his distant cousin Francis Blomefield, which was worth more than £7,000 and came with 140 acres near Norfolk. As a condition of the inheritance, Jennings changed his name to Blomefield by royal license. Completion of the History of Norfolk. The topographical history of the remaining areas of Norfolk was subsequently completed by Blomefield's friend, Charles Parkin, between 1753 and 1765. The remaining sheets of Volume 3 and 2 further folio volumes were published at King's Lynn between 1769 and 1775. The entire work was subsequently reprinted in 11 quarto volumes in London between 1805 and 1810. Assessment. Blomefield's Norfolk was both detailed and largely reliable and comparable with the best county histories of the period. There is little doubt that in compiling his book, Blomefield had frequent recourse to the existing historical collections of Peter Leneve, John Kirkpatrick of Norwich and Tanner, his own work being to some extent one of expansion and addition, although he did compile extensive collections of his own.